I have photographic proof that some celebrities suck and some celebrities are awesome. This is Celebrity Encounters, and these are my stories of the good, the bad, and the unpredictable of Hollywood.
Hey guys, this episode's all about child stars from the 70s and 80s. We're going to go back in time and talk about some of the coolest TV shows and movies from the 70s and 80s. Plus, I'll tell you about my personal experiences with these child stars, showing you a bunch of my never-before-seen photos along the way. I'll tell you about my encounters with child stars from shows like Wonder Years, Happy Days, Doogie Howser M.D., Punky Brewster. I'm getting a little excited about this. Charles in Charge and Silver Spoons. I loved all these shows. Plus, my encounters with child stars from movies like Goonies, Lost Boys, The Blue Lagoon, and Gremlins. I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, so this was a fun episode for me to do. Alright, let's check out my encounters with child stars from the 70s and 80s. A lot of child stars have been through some rough times, whether it be drinking, drugs, jail, addiction, abuse. But most of the child stars we're going to be talking about today have gone unscathed by the pitfalls of childhood stardom. Our first child star of the 70s and 80s is Neil Patrick Harris. Neil was Doogie Howser on the TV show Doogie Howser M.D. He played a high school-age doctor, which seems ridiculous now, but it was a pretty entertaining show for the 80s. Neil was 16 when he started the show. I thought after Doogie we wouldn't ever see Neil again, but he has had an amazing career, as he would go on to do TV shows, movies, Broadway, magic, and hosted the Tony, Emmy, and Academy Awards. Most people know him nowadays from his role on How I Met Your Mother as Barney Stinson. That began airing in 2005 and ran for 9 years. Here's my only picture I have of Neil. This was outside a Britney Spears concert at the Staples Center in Los Angeles in 2009. Looks like he's trying to hide his Red Bull from me for some reason, and then tries to distract me by pointing somewhere else. I'm not falling for it, Neil. Not sure who the guy with him is, but that doesn't look like his husband. Oh, Neil, scandalous? I'm sure it's totally innocent people. I'm just joking. Neil came out as gay in 2006 and married his boyfriend of 10 years in 2014. They have 2 twin children together from a surrogate. Here are some photos Neil posted on Instagram. This looks like a seriously happy family. It's great to see a child star so happy. I'm sure it wasn't easy for Neil to keep his secret about being gay for so many years, and I'm sure it was stressful for him to come out. But other than that, Neil's been very lucky in life. Lots of child stars aren't that lucky. Let's talk about Corey Feldman. So many classic movies from the 80s. Gremlins, Goonies, Stand By Me, Lost Boys, and License to Drive. I had a girlfriend in high school, and I would go to her house on the weekends when her parents were out, and she would put on License to Drive, and we would make out through the entire movie. This happened for like over a month, so thank you, Corey, for that. I mean, these movies ruled the 80s. Here's my first encounter with Corey in 2003, outside a club with his wife at the time, Susie Sprague. Here they are again in 2003 outside Joseph's nightclub. Corey wearing sunglasses at night, not to be confused with the 80s song by Corey Hart called Sunglasses at Night. Here is Susie and Corey again outside Foxtail nightclub. Corey again going with the shades at night. Amazingly, Corey and Susie were married for 7 years. They even had a child together. Here's the last photo I took of the couple together. This was at the very same Britney Spears concert that Neil Patrick Harris was at. Corey with no sunglasses this night, and a peace sign, which I love when celebrities give me the peace sign. It looks like Susie is trying to hide a cigarette from me. I took this photo September of 2009. The couple split up the next month, so this is probably one of their last dates together. They married in 2002 on the reality show Surreal Life. The next month after the Britney concert, Corey already moved on to this hot date. As Corey is dressed like a mad scientist, or doctor, this was on Halloween night at a club on the Sunset Strip. His date is dressed like a cop with the handcuffs, or maybe an airline pilot with that hat, or a raccoon with black eyes, with black around her eyes. I don't know. A nurse would be more logical, being that Corey is some sort of doctor. Corey didn't want me getting a shot of him without his mask on for some reason. Maybe because he just broke up with his wife and was hanging out with another woman already. Corey was always cool to me during our encounters together, so I appreciate that. In 2016, Corey married again, this time to Courtney Ann Mitchell, a member of his band, Corey's Angels. Yes, Corey has a band. This will be his 3rd marriage, as he was lucky enough to marry the beautiful Vanessa Marcil from 1989 to 1993. Here's a picture I took of Vanessa in 2005. Looking amazing. I have to admit, I had a crush on Vanessa. Some of you might remember her from playing Brenda on General Hospital in the 90s, or from 90210, and the TV show Las Vegas. Speaking of crushes, let's talk about Danica McKellar, Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years. Wonder Years was an amazing show that ran from 1988 to 1993. Danica played the friend and sometimes girlfriend of Kevin Arnold, the main character. This was my only encounter with Danica. It was at a charity event in 2002. When I saw Danica, I couldn't believe my eyes. I don't remember having a crush on Danica when I was a kid, but I thought she was cute, and her character was really cool on the show. After I saw her in real life at this event, I definitely developed a crush. Unfortunately, this was one of the first events I ever did as a paparazzo, and was way too shy to talk to her, and I never saw her again in Hollywood. Luckily, Danica had a couple wardrobe changes at this event. Danica went on to pose for Stuff magazine in 2005, which made my crush grow even stronger. She's done a number of guest spots on TV shows and acted in movies. She also wrote a number of math books, so she's pretty and smart. Books called Math Doesn't Suck, Hot Algebra, Kiss My Math, and Girls Get Curves Geometry. It makes me want to become a mathematician, I'll tell you that much. In 2014, she appeared on Dancing with the Stars, Season 18. She finished 6th. Nowadays, you can catch her in a bunch of different Hallmark movies, mostly having to do with Christmas, like Christmas at Dollywood and Coming Home for Christmas. In 2001, she started dating her first husband, a composer. The couple married in 2009, they had a child in 2010, and unfortunately divorced in 2012. Danica has been married to her second husband, a lawyer, since 2014. Let's talk about Danica's co-star in The Wonder Years and big brother to Kevin Arnold, Jason Hervey, or Wayne from The Wonder Years. This is my only encounter with Jason. He's here with his second wife, Shannon. They look like they are in love. The couple has been together since 1998, which is amazing by Hollywood standards. 22 years. This photo was taken in 2004. And look at Shannon's little purse. Possibly the smallest purse I've ever seen in my life. The couple have 4 children together, and it looks like Jason has avoided all the dangers of being a child star. He is still in Hollywood as mostly a producer these days. He actually created and produced the reality show Scott Baio is 45 and Single. Which brings us to our next child star, Scott Baio, Chachi from Happy Days, and the spin-off Joni Loves Chachi. Just to complete his 70s and 80s resume, he also starred on Charles in Charge from 1984 until 1990. Here is Scott with his wife Renee. They are happily posing for pictures at an event in 2004. Scott met Renee at the Playboy Mansion, and the couple are still together today. Here's a list of a couple other famous people Scott dated. Erin Moran, his Joni Loves Chachi co-star. Brooke Shields. Melissa Gilbert from Little House on the Prairie. Heather Locklear. Pamela Anderson from Baywatch. And Nicole Eggert, his co-star from Charles in Charge. Scott really never had any bad press or child star problems until recently, when Nicole Eggert claimed that Scott molested her as a minor during their years on Charles in Charge together. But Scott claims they had sex only after Nicole turned 18. Here's a picture I took of Eggert outside Erie nightclub in 2006. She was also on Baywatch, for those of you that don't remember Charles in Charge. Here's one other picture I took of Scott heading into that high nightclub by himself in 2007. I also ran into Scott at El Soleil restaurant, but can't find those pictures. Like I said, Scott and Renee are still together today, and they have a child together. Plus, he's a stepfather to Renee's daughter from another relationship. Scott dated Brooke Shields, who we're going to talk about next. Brooke is most remembered as a child star from the 1980 film Blue Lagoon. She was also a child model. Brooke has said that her relationship with Scott was innocent, meaning they never had sex. She went on to say she lost her virginity to Dean Cain. You might remember him from the Superman TV show Lois and Clark. I saw Brooke for the first time at a taping of her show Suddenly Susan in the 90s, before I moved to Hollywood. I was just an audience member. The first time seeing Brooke as a paparazzo was in 2004 at Christine Taylor's birthday party. Here she is arriving at the party with a gift for Christine. Christine is Ben Stiller's wife, and also an actress. I loved Brooke. She was so nice and always gave me a smile during all my encounters with her. Here is my next encounter at Giorgio Restaurant in 2006. At this time, Brooke is pregnant. She got pregnant by this man, Chris Henchy. He is a writer and producer. He produced and wrote a bunch of movies and is one of the creators of the website Funny or Die. The couple married in 2001 and have 2 children together. This photo was taken in April 2006, the same month Brooke's daughter was born. So this photo was taken just days before the birth of her child. Brooke won't get any bigger than this. It looks like Brooke thinks she stepped in some gum here, but it was only a cigarette butt. Here's Brooke and Chris, again, leaving Dantana's restaurant a few months later in 2006. It appears the couple loves Italian food, as I caught them at Italian restaurants more than anywhere else. The couple happily posed and smiled for my photos. Brooke looks like she lost that baby weight very quick, as this was only 4 months after the pregnancy photos. And Brooke looks amazing. She is even showing off that after-baby cleavage. Brooke is so awesome she smiles all the way to her car. And here's Brooke again in 2006 at Il Soleil restaurant. She is hanging out with Chris Kattan of Saturday Night Live fame. Here's the whole crew smiling after dinner. Look how tall Brooke is compared to Chris Kattan. And Brooke's boots really make Chris seem short. Check this out. Chris Kattan goes in for a kiss when Brooke's husband isn't watching. Naughty boy, Chris. Plus, the friend hug after that. Once again, Brooke pretty much smiles the entire time. As she drives off, she gives me the peace sign. So cool. Brooke really knows how to handle fame. I'm not sure why she's making this face, but it's kind of a funny picture. And here's my final Brooke encounter, back at Giorgio Restaurant in 2007. She walks in the restaurant with a big smile and looking fabulous. The baby weight is a thing of the past. And looks like she might be pumping some iron. Check out those biceps. Anyways, Brooke Shields rocks. So unbelievably friendly every time I encountered her. Not many celebrities were nice to me every single time I saw them. Brooke is another child star that didn't fall into too many dangers in Hollywood. She has actually lived a pretty normal life. That is, if you call being friends with the Muppets and Michael Jackson a normal life. Our next child star has had a pretty normal life also. It's Soleil Moon Frye, or Punky Brewster. I gotta read you guys the synopsis for the Punky Brewster TV show. Punky is a warm, funny, and bright child. Her father walked out on her family. Then, her mother abandoned her at a Chicago shopping center when they were shopping for groceries, leaving Punky alone with her dog, Brandon. Wow. That sounds like an extremely sad start to a sitcom for kids. But kids loved this show in the 80s. It ran from 1984 to 1989. Here's my only encounter with Soleil. It's at Katsuya Restaurant in 2009. She walks out with a big smile and signs autographs for fans. She's with her husband, Jason Goldberg, who doesn't look as happy to see the cameras as Soleil. Goldberg is a film and television producer. He works with Ashton Kutcher a lot. They used to have a production company together. Goldberg was the executive producer of Punk'd and the reality show Beauty and the Geek. They married in 1998 and are still together. They have 4 little Punky Brewsters together. Check out the names of their children. This is the first daughter, Poet Sienna Rose Goldberg. The next daughter, Jagger Joseph Blue Goldberg. The son, Lyric Sonny Rhodes Goldberg. And another son, Story Goldberg. When she's not having babies, she still acts, hosts TV shows, and writes books. And a new Punky Brewster reboot is set to be released in 2020 on the Peacock streaming service. So it looks like it's time for Punky Power again, people. We got time for one more child star. Rick Schroder from one of my favorite 80s shows, Silver Spoons. Rick's dad in Silver Spoons owns a toy company, so the house is full of toys and arcade games. I remember wishing I had all the arcade games at my house that Rick's character had as a kid. It seemed like the coolest thing ever back then. Silver Spoons aired from 1982 to 1987. Schroeder was about 12 when the show started. Jason Bateman was also part of the cast as one of Rick's friends. Here's my only picture of Rick. This was at a Santa Monica restaurant in 2008. This is Rick with his wife of 24 years. Wow, now that's a long time. The couple divorced in 2016. I don't think they saw me when I started taking pictures. It's kind of on a dark sidewalk. But once they realized I was taking pictures, they give me a smile. Rick's had a pretty good career working as an actor all his life, including roles on NYPD Blue and 24. But something has happened since the divorce in 2016. Rick has not acted in anything since the divorce, and he was arrested twice for suspicion of domestic violence against his girlfriend in 2019. He was not prosecuted for either incidents. There's also rumors that Rick is partying all the time and needs an intervention. Let's hope Rick can pull through this rough patch of his life. The couple had 4 kids together before the divorce. 2 of Rick's daughters are Instagram models and starred on a Lifetime TV show, Growing Up Supermodel. Cambrie is 23 years old and Faith is 19. They recently had to block their dad from Instagram after he told them to put some clothes on. and their relationship is a little rocky right now. So, good luck, Rick. I hope everything works out for him. The thing about all the child stars I talked about today is that they were all nice to me. Brooke Shields, of course, being the nicest. But not one of them was ever rude to me. Never. Not once. That's kind of a big deal. So let's hear it for the child stars of the 70s and 80s, setting good examples for celebrities everywhere. Alright folks, that's it for child stars of the 70s and 80s. So a lot of child stars go on to be in boy bands, which happens to be the subject of the next episode. Yes, it's all about boy bands. So we'll be talking about some of your favorite members of boy bands next episode, including NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block. You get the idea. This one is definitely for the ladies. Alright people, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.